not my hair. I am not the skin. I am not your expectation. No. My hair. I am not the skin that lives within. I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I am not your expectations. No. I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I so I am not this skin. I am not your expectations. No. I am not my hair. Yes, you got India Ari bringing us into the Barber and Beauty Shop with I Am Not My Hair. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about the fact that when we go to the beauty and barber shop, it's about more than aesthetics. It's about more than trying to make sure somebody looks at my skin and sees me a certain way. It's about me feeding my soul. The soul that walks into the barber shop is what's being fed. The soul that walks into the beauty shop is what's being fed when we have that community, when we have that camaraderie, when we have real talk in the space. That's what happens in the barber and beauty shop, and that's what's happening right now at KABF 88.3, real talk right here for the Barber and Beauty Shop, usually hosted by Wendell Griffin and co-hosted by the Reverend Zachary Crow, but both of them are out. And so you got your guest co-host, yes, the Reverend Doctor, you can call me Denise, right here in the space. So grateful to be here. And I'm glad that you are here with me present in this space, because we realize and we recognize, I know it doesn't take me a minute to realize that we would not be here were it not for you. We understand and we recognize that KABF is celebrating 40 years this year, and it is all because of you. You show up for us every chance you get, in every way you get, and for that we are grateful. So thank you for your presence in this space. Phone lines are already wide open at 501-433-0088, 501-433-0088. Phone lines are already wide open for you on this day. I have several announcements that I need to make before we get into our conversation for today, that's rooted in India Ari telling us that I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I am not your expectations. I'm a soul that lies within. So 2024 Six Bridges Book Festival is happening on September 23rd through the 29th, 2024. That's this year. This year's festival chairperson is Senator Joyce Elliott, a CALS board member and former high school English teacher. The event will feature award-winning, best-selling, and emerging authors in virtual and in-person sessions and special events. Most festival events will be free and open to the public. Most festival events will be held at CALS's Library Square in downtown Little Rock. Authors will continue to be announced throughout the summer. For more information, go to www.cals.org. That's www.cals.org. The Bluff City Rodeo Association's second annual Pine Bluff Takeover is happening on July 6th at 7 p.m. The Black Cowboys are invading the Bluff. Tickets are available at Eventbrite, and the event will be held at the Pine Bluff Convention Center, located at 1 Convention Center Drive in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 71600. More announcements for you coming your way right now. More announcements. I want to let you know that right here. We are needing some volunteers who are registered voters in Pulaski County to volunteer 2 to 4 hours to collect ballot initiative signatures on Wednesday, July 3rd from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at St. John Baptist Church on Main Street in Little Rock. We are needing some volunteers who are registered voters in Pulaski County to volunteer 2 to 4 hours to collect ballot initiative signatures on Wednesday, July 3rd from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at St. John Baptist Church on Main Street in Little Rock. Volunteers will have access to the church building for water and to cool off. Please contact Julia Taylor by text 501-952-9879 with your name and the hours that you are available to serve on Wednesday, July 3rd. Again, if you are available, contact Julia Taylor by text at 501-952-9879 with your name, the hours, and the hours that you are available to serve on Wednesday, July 3rd. I also want you to know that today, like right now, is going on. You can go and sign all 6 ballot initiatives, but there are places right now. Today is petition signing day. Saturday, July 29th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can go to the Thompson Library in West Little Rock, the Lehman Library in North Little Rock, the Lake Willestein Park in Maumelle, Whitewater Tavern in Little Rock, the Williams Library in Little Rock, or the McMath Library in Little Rock. On Sunday, June 30th, from 1 to 5 p.m., you can go to the D. Brown Library in Southwest Little Rock or the McMath Library in Little Rock. So today you can go and sign all of the petitions that we are asking you to sign in order to get these ballot initiatives on the ballot. What we are saying is, hello, we want the people to decide. We want the power. We want the power of the people to manifest at the ballot box. And we can do that by collecting these signatures. We have a ballot initiative about educational rights. We've got one about reproductive rights, government transparency, which is the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act. We've got the period tax, the medical marijuana. We've also got the casino, and we've got the initiative to get Cornel West's name on the ballot. Oh, but those are all the initiatives. But at this particular place, looks like they just have educational rights, reproductive rights, government transparency, period tax, medical marijuana. And if you're not in Pulaski County, you can go to Phillips County. If you are in, I believe that's in Elaine, Helena, West Helena, if I'm not mistaken. That's Saturday, June 29th. That's today, starting at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Walmart parking lot, 602 Sheila Street in Helena, West Helena. Again, we're trying to get you in a space where you can sign more than one initiative at one time. I've been walking around with one initiative, but here's a place where you can sign them all. So either here in Pulaski County or in Phillips County, you have the opportunity to do that today and tomorrow. You also have another opportunity on Wednesday at St. John Baptist Church. We need volunteers to do that. If you need more information, you can hit me up right here at 228-236-7440 because I've got the information in my phone. So I can make sure that I just read it off to you, give you a chance to get your pen out, your paper. If you want me to forward you the flyer, I can do that as well. The 7th annual Diamonds in the Rough Youth Empowerment Conference is happening on July 20th. So we want you to save the date. Get ready from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Garland County Library Auditorium, 1427 Malvern Avenue in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The theme is Engaging Minds to Empower Success. So go ahead and save that day, July 20th. We will continue to make that announcement and give you more information up until that time comes. And if you want more information, you can contact Esther Dixon at 501-276-2121, 501-276-2121, or you can email Diamonds in the Rough HS diamondsin@gmail.com. That would be diamondsintheroughs@gmail.com. And again, more information, if you just hit us up, we'll be more than happy to give you that information. Also in Hot Springs, the 4th annual Hot Springs Community Health Banquet and Recognition Ceremony. Save the date. That is happening on August 9th from 6 to 10 p.m. And we will continue to make that announcement as well. I think that those are all of the announcements that I have. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Karama Neal. Yes, she's doing the doggone thing with these petitions. We were out on last night at Gigi's. They were getting ready for the grand opening of Gigi's right here on Main Street. They used to be South on Main. And we collected signatures outside as they were waiting in line. What a joy it was to see everybody all dressed up, getting ready to go. So we are great. I was grateful to her for the invitation to join her to do that, and grateful for all of you who signed. We appreciate you so much. Caller, you're live on the air at KABF 88.3 FM. This is the Barber and Beauty Shop.
Well, good morning. Will you send out prayers to George and Alice, please?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad the caller said that, because that was on my list to announce. We are. Did I hang that up? We are continuing to hold up and lift up in prayer. Whatever your faith practice is, however prayer looks for you, we are asking you to lift up Senator Joyce Elliott as she continues to recover from the stroke that she had on Tuesday night. She is going through, she is fighting so that she can be back with us in the ways that she wants to with her body. I want to just say something about that. I saw a post on Facebook about Senator Elliott, and it said something to the effect of, Joyce, we want you to get better so that you can come back and do the work. And I said, oh my goodness, like, no, that is not why we want Senator Elliott to get better. We don't want her to get better so she can come back and do work for us. We want her to get better so that she can live into the fullness of her life in her body as it is designed for her. That's what we want. If she so chooses to spend that time volunteering to do the work that she has been doing over all of these years, that is great. But it is not our goal to have her come back just so that she could get back to work. So I just wanted to say that. I almost sent it on Facebook, but I try not to engage too much. So I just wanted to say that. So here, yes, let us pray. Spirit of the living God, we pause right now for no other reason than to lift up Senator Joyce Elliott, the one that we know that you know because you created her, in all of the divineness that she carries, and all of the beauty that she brings, and all of the spirit that she presents to us, and all of her gifts and talents and her creativity, all of who she is. We are grateful for her. We are grateful for all that she has done to wake us up, for all that she has done to push forward liberation for all people, especially for children. We thank you for what she has done with her family, how she loves them and shares that love with us, how she has taken lemons and made lemonade and then given us a drink and made it cool for us in the midst of it all. We are grateful for her witness to what it means to put your hands to the plow and get the work done. And so we lift her up right now, and we just hold space for her. We speak healing and wholeness over her, wellness in her body. And we do this in the practice that we call prayer in all of God's names. So I didn't know I was going to be here alone today. I thought Zach was going to be here. But I want to spend some time talking about the continued hypocrisy that we see in this world. And I guess I'll start with the presidential debates. I don't know how many of you watched it. I only watched a little. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not watch the entire debate. I could not stomach it all. There was just something about Joe Biden's voice that I just could not, that was not resonating well with me in my spirit. And so I said, don't let me get all worked up. I just want to spend some time listening, and then I'm going to go. And then I started reading the transcript. I said, well, I'm just not ready for this. But what's interesting to me is how many people are now weighing in on the need for Joe Biden to step down, the need for him to not accept the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party because he performed poorly at the debate. And so this one moment that was not a very good reflection of who he actually is as president is now being used to determine the trajectory of the rest of his career as president of the United States. So this one moment in time that he has not shown up the way that he should have, or the way that we expected him to, or the way that we wanted him to, or whatever it is, this one moment in time that we believe he let us down. And then he did it on a grand stage. He did it on a world stage, an international stage. And so some of us are embarrassed by his performance, and we want to show, we want to save face. And so one of the ways that we want to save face is to say, oh, no, we don't support this, we are not in his corner, he should step down, he should recuse himself, he should do all of these things that we're saying that he should do. And it reminds me of those of us who are formerly incarcerated, where there is a time in our lives where I'm talking about those of us who actually did commit some sort of crime. I'm not talking about those of us who are falsely in prison. I'm talking about those of us who really did commit some kind of crime. And we were caught, we had to go to jail, so we were in prison for however long, we were incarcerated. And for the world, the way that we treat them, to say that because of this act by your hands, because you made a choice, regardless of what led to the choice, that you had a choice in the matter, you made this choice. And so now the world wants to define you by that one moment in your life where you did not show up for us in the way that you should have. And we want to punish you for the rest of your life. So we're going to change your entire trajectory. So when you come out, we're going to fix it so that you don't have anywhere to live. We're going to fix it so you don't have access to food. We're going to fix it so that you don't have access to a job that will give you a living wage. We're going to fix it so that you are marked by this moment for the rest of your life. And we get to mark you so that we can sit back and say, see, I'm better than you. I didn't do this. At least I didn't do that. And what's interesting about that is if we take a moment to reflect on our own lives, there has been probably more than one time when we didn't show up the way that we should have for people. So for some of us, there has been more than one time that we actually did commit what people call a crime, and we just didn't get caught. So for us to be in this world living amongst other humans and think that we should be able to define a person by one moment that does not look good for them, it's just ridiculous, especially when we live in a world that does not want to talk about the true history of this country as it relates to chattel enslavement. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to be defined by your ugliest moment. You don't want to be defined by your original sin, but yet you want to define everybody else by theirs and then stand firm as if your arrogance makes you better or superior than them. So we're going to have to be careful with this conversation about how we are looking at Biden's performance on Thursday night. We're going to have to be careful. And for those of you who have dared to have the audacity to get in that conversation, get out of it. Because I don't care how he performed on Thursday night. He is the only choice that you have for president or this country that we call United States. The only choice that you have, regardless of that. So you're going to have to look beyond a poor performance at a debate, especially when he's debating against somebody who wouldn't even take the stage to debate in the past. So we're going to have to be careful how we position ourselves in these conversations where we want to talk junk about somebody else, especially when we refuse to take a look at our own selves in the mirror and say, wait a minute, am I being hypocritical? Let me think about my own life. Let me examine my own self. How dare I have the nerve to define somebody totally by one experience? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Just don't do it. Stop it. And that reminds me of the hypocrisy that's happening around LeBron James and his son. LeBron James plays for the Lakers, and now his son has been drafted to the Lakers, and now all of these people are in an uproar talking about nepotism. Like, oh my goodness, his son only got that because of his daddy. And I said, wait a minute, didn't we just come from a presidential administration where the son-in-law, the daughter, we had the daddy? Like, all of these people are now employed to do this work on behalf of the government only because their daddy is in this position. But you want to talk about LeBron James and his son? We have got to stop with the hypocrisy. We've got to start naming what's happening for what it is. LeBron James paved the way for his son. That's what he did, not on anybody else's back, not by calling anybody else murderers and liars, not by demeaning people who have disabilities, not by dehumanizing women. No, this is something that he put in the work to do. And other people have done that too, but this is what's in the news right now. And I'm like, wait a minute. If you are engaged in that conversation, just stop it. Because if you're not going to tell the truth about this world and how nepotism has shown up throughout history, don't start now. And don't start with this black man and this black son. No. That's what we're not going to do. Just stop it. And the other comment in the news, and you all can chime in anytime you get ready, because I'm just telling you what has upset me in the last couple of days, or maybe the last 48 hours. But Simone Biles, do y'all know Simone Biles? Simone Biles is the greatest gymnast that I know in my lifetime. I'm not going to suggest that she's the greatest gymnast that ever existed, because I have not been a student of this sport. I will admit that. But she is the greatest gymnast that I have known when I started paying attention. And she has qualified. She's got her sixth title. If that qualifies her for Paris, okay. But she's got her sixth title. And in response to her excellence, which happens in this case to be black excellence, in response to her excellence, you have the Russian gymnastics coach, Valentina Rodionenko. Have y'all read this? I'm just sitting over here like, what? So most of us, when we watch Simone Biles, we are transported in our bodies into a space of unbelief. Like, we're watching her move, we're watching her twist, we're watching her turn, we're watching her dance, we're watching her point her toes, we're watching her personality shine through, we're watching her get ready, we're watching her make that mouth. We're just mesmerized. We cannot. It's like, oh, if I were not watching this with my own eyes, somebody told me about it, I wouldn't believe it. That's how great she is. That's how excellent she is. That's the kind of expertise that she has in this sport, that she has dedicated her life to. So most of us, when we are watching her, that's where we are. We are in another space and time watching this unfold right before our very eyes. But this woman, this Russian gymnastics coach, she says she remained unimpressed. She even said that she felt Simone Biles now, had no great performance. Let me quote her words. I want to express my regrets about Biles' victory. What is gymnastics? It's scary to watch it. Do you think there is at least some kind of aesthetic there? Low? There is simply nothing to watch. She has no great performance, only difficulty. She only wins through difficulty. That's what she said in an interview to Match TV. Now, did you hear these? Listen, I can't believe these words. I can't believe these words came out of her mouth. But I don't think she heard herself. You know, I used to get in trouble for my mouth all the time, especially when I was growing up, and I did not have any control over what was coming out of my mouth. Part of that was triggered by the trauma of violence in my home. So I had to learn that you just can't say whatever you want to say the way you want to say it to whoever. Like, sometimes that's just not the best thing to do. And so there have been times that something has come out of my mouth, and as soon as it came out of my mouth, I wanted to just reach out with my hand and grab it and snatch it back. I mean, as soon as it left, I felt it, and I just want to. It's too late, of course, but at least I felt it in my system, so I could say, wait, and that would give me an opportunity to circle back, so that I can ask forgiveness. I can circle back, and I can say, wait. I can redirect myself, whatever I need to do. I have an opportunity once I hear myself, but it to me sound like this woman didn't even hear herself. Listen to this again. I want to express my regrets about Biles' victory. She goes on to say, there is simply nothing to watch. She has no great performance, only difficulty. She only wins through difficulty. So then she says, we will now submit, she added to her statement that she is going to reach out to the International Gymnastics Federation regarding a change of rules in the current scoring system where aesthetics would be prioritized over the difficulty of a skill. Now, okay, let me make sure I define the word aesthetics for us, because I keep saying it, and I'm saying it like we all understand what it means, but I just want to make sure that we break it down. So when we talk about aesthetics, we're talking about what it looks like. We're talking about how cute it is. Wait a minute, here's Hotep on here. I see you, Hotep. Expose those haters trying to minimize Black excellence. Yes, she's trying to minimize Black excellence. I cannot believe, I can't, but let me stop saying I can't believe. She said, we want to change the rules of the current scoring system where aesthetics would be prioritized over the difficulty of a skill. In other words, I don't want to see how excellent you are. I don't want to see how hard you've worked to be able to conquer this skill. I want to see how good you look. Let me look at let me see what your outfit looks like. What does your leotard look like? Let me see the colors of your leotard. Let me listen to the song. Which song did you choose? Is that a song that has a nice beat to it? Let me see how good you can flip your wrist and point your toe. Like, I'm more concerned about that than who wants to talk about difficulty? I mean, are you kidding me right now? So the moment that you have this woman who you cannot defy Simone Biles in this space right now. She is on fire, and you can't do anything about it. So because you cannot handle the Black excellence that she manifests, that she demonstrates on a consistent basis, because she left. She said, hold on, y'all, I need to take a break. She left, took a break, came back, and she still dominated the sport. You cannot stand it to the point where you're going to change the rules so that we don't have to focus on what is strength, stamina, endurance, skill, difficulty. Let's just talk about what looks cute. She says, we will now submit these questions to the International Federation. What should prevail? Beauty and high level of performance while respecting the rules? Or will we only follow the path of complexity? So what will artistic gymnastics look like? Surprise with tips? That's a big question. Let's deal with beauty and high level of performance instead of the path of complexity. That's what she is going to. That's what she's going to petition the International Federation of Gymnastics to do, to change the rules. And I honestly cannot wait to see what happens, because in the world in which we live, where we're talking about the need for a revolution, a liberatory revolution, the need for that for all people, but especially for Black folks. And we're in this world where we're talking about Black people needing to move as a nation, where we need to raise up, where we need to let go of these systems of oppression and domination that we have become complicit in through our own traumas of post-traumatic slave syndrome and poverty. We are now complicit. We've got to divest from this so that we can move in a way that we free ourselves. Because if we're waiting on somebody else to free us, we should be able to see that that is not going to happen. So I would not be surprised in this climate if the Federation did not agree with her. Think about what the Supreme Court just did with the rioters. No, not the rioters. The insurrectionists. They have ruled that the people, that the attorneys overreached when they were charging the people who participated in the January 6th insurrection. So I wouldn't be surprised if the International Gymnastics Federation didn't agree with her. Would you be surprised? Here's low. White folks always try to change the rules when they're getting their butts whooped. I'm reading to you exactly how he wrote it. White folks always try to change the rules when they are getting their butts whooped. It reminds me of this analogy that we use from time to time when we talk about who has the power in the space. And we use the basketball court as a symbol. And we'll say, okay, the basketball court is a symbol of power in this space. And the person who controls the power is the one who owns the basketball. So the person comes to the basketball, I mean, comes to the court with the basketball and then engages other people in a game. Come on, let's play the game. And then when they engage other people that they are looking at, that they assume by how they look that they won't be good at the game, they're excited to have them because they think in their minds that they're going to beat them. They came to the court with their ball because they felt like they were superior. So they engage people who look like they can't perform well. And once they start performing not only well, but better than, they get mad and take their ball home. That's what this reminds me of. You're in here getting beat on the court. And so now you want to take the ball home because you want to now let everybody know that you are the one in control. But the point that we have to focus on is that you looked at the other people on the court. And just by the mere sight of what you saw, you decided for yourself that they would not be a formidable opponent for you, that they would not be able to meet you not only where you are with skill, but exceed your skill. So this woman, this Russian coach, you're looking at Simone Biles and you looking at it, you can't believe it. How is this possible? It can't be possible that she has this kind of excellence. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our ball and go home. And that is why we're reminded of the words that India Ari sings in the song that started us off this morning. I am not my hair. I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I am not your expectations. No, I am not my hair. I am not this skin. I am the soul that lies within. And many of the problems that we are facing right now in this moment. Did y'all read what the Tractor Supply Company said? The Tractor Supply, they actually issued a statement where they said they are listening to the people that they've been serving for all of these years. And because of that, they have decided that here are some things that we are not going to do. We're not going to participate in the pride parades. We are not going to participate we're not going to give any data to the Human Rights Campaign, and they're not going to move forward with any more diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. As a matter of fact, the ones that we had included in our mission statement and in our policies, we are rescinding them because we're listening to the people that support us, and so this is the decision that we're going to make. That's a whole supply company that has made that decision in the name of their business. A business that I would venture to say is patronized by folks that they just excluded. So part of your own success has come off the backs of the people that you now declare are not worthy of your services because you're listening to the people around you. Who are those people? Lowe says, white folks' greatest fear, Black excellence, Black economics, and Black unity. White folks' greatest fear, 3 of them, Black excellence, Black economics, and Black unity. That reminds me of a post I read on Phyllis Brown's Facebook. She went to, I don't know where she got the information from, but she was talking about the Flag and Banner store, Tiberian Hall. It is the only building that's still standing from the 9th Street district when it was the Black excellence, the Black economic, the Black unified district. And the owner of the Flag and Banner basically said that the reason why 9th Street did not work is maybe part of it has to do with 635, Highway 635 being intentionally designed to go through it. But the other part she suggests, she declares, is that once desegregation hit, Black folks were so excited to be able to shop in white space that they just turned their backs on their own businesses and allowed them to go belly up. She used those words, belly up, because they were so busy trying to trying to patronize white folks. They were so happy to be able to go to the white folks stores that they just abandoned their own. And so that's how she feels like Interstate 630. That's how she feels. That's how she feels about. That's her story. That's her narrative. And this is another reason why it is so important for us to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth every chance that we get. And so whatever space we are in, we don't need permission from the government to speak truth wherever we are. In our churches, we ought to be speaking the truth. When we go to the grocery store, we ought to be speaking the truth. At the barber and the beauty shop, we ought to be speaking the truth. Every time we show up on the sidewalk, we ought to be speaking. We can disseminate our own information without their permission, because that's what it means to recognize your power and exercise your own power, the power that comes out of your own mouth. Here's low. The bank would not loan to a Black person, yet not allowing access to capital. The bank would not loan to a Black person. And if I have the story correctly, I inquired around the community and asked, why didn't Black people buy Tabitha Hall? Like, why didn't we save that last building? And the way I heard the story, I want somebody to correct me. I don't mind correction at all. The way I heard the story is that the Black folks couldn't get the capital, but the National Parks and Recreation Service gave this woman the money that she needed. And here we are, not even asking for a donation, not even asking for it to be given. We asking for, like, can you loan it to us? Like, can we pay you back for it? And the answer was no. That's the story that I have heard. And actually, that's the story I believe. Until somebody can debunk it, that's the one I believe. Caller, you're live on the air at KBF 88.3 FM. This is the Barber and Beauty Shop. How you doing?
Hello, doctor. This is Joe from Hey, listen, the deal with the Russian coach not wanting Simone Biles' technical expertise to dominate the gymnastics competition. It's not about white versus black, it's Russian versus United States. I mean, it wouldn't matter if the American was white or Chinese or Korean or whatever. It's the fact that they're American. They have to change the rules to disadvantage the American. And, like in racing, somebody comes up with an invention that makes their car goes faster that everybody else doesn't have, they're going to, hey, we're going to have a rule against that because we're not going as fast. And, it's like if you ain't cheat, you ain't try it. So I don't think it's a racist thing. I don't think it's a national thing. It's a competitive thing. She's jealous. And to make everything about race is a little disingenuous on your part, in my opinion.
Thank you, caller. Let me repeat, because some people have told me that you can't hear the caller if you're watching online with Facebook. So let me repeat the caller. So the caller is pushing back on me, saying that he does not believe that the Russian gymnastics coach is pushing back on the complexity and the difficulty of the skill of gymnastics that Simone Biles is demonstrating because she is Black. She's doing it because Simone Biles is American. So as a Russian, she's jealous of the Americans. And so that is why she wants to water down the criteria for being excellent. So because she's jealous of the Americans, and that for me to make everything about race is disingenuous. And so I really appreciate your perspective. And from your perspective, I would assume, and I could be wrong, but I would assume that you are not Black and not white. So either one, because there are plenty of examples in our own history within the United States in the field of sports, boxing in particular, where white men assumed that they would be able to beat a Black boxer, and it didn't work out that way, and there were consequences, there were changes made. And so I agree with you that not everything has to be about race, but in this particular case, when I talk about my lived experiences through the Black lens that I have to deal with every single day, I cannot and will not take race off the the table. So your lens absolutely should be lifted up for consideration, and so should mine. Caller, you're live on the air at KABF 88.3 FM. Caller, I need you to do something. I don't know if you're too close to the radio. I don't know if your radio is up. I don't know if you're using a speakerphone. Just please call back, but try to make some adjustments because we cannot hear you because of the feedback. Oh, so Lo says that my understanding of why Black people do not possess what they now call the flag and banner store is correct. And he also goes on to say it is white versus Black, call a spade a spade. And then, okay, thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. All right, let's try it again, caller. Caller, you're live on the air at the Barber and Beauty Shop. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'm calling back. Denise. Yes. Actually, I think the face knows.
Wait, is Ezekiel? Is this Ezekiel? It sounds like this is Ezekiel.
It is Ezekiel.
Okay, I'm trying to modify some things so we can hear you because I can't. It's some feedback. Cool. Try again. Keep going. Try again.
Okay. You better now.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, I will and hope you're able to remember what I have to say. Sort of corresponds with what you said about the court and how we have interacted with our culture. I'm speaking of Muhammad Ali, just mentioned about Muhammad Ali was a world champion who was actually considered to be a criminal. He wasn't able to practice his trade or his sport or his sport for several years during the time of his tenure, but he came back and was the heavyweight champion of the world and went on to be one of the most respected athletes ever. That's why we call him the greatest. Muhammad Ali, I happen to have been around to do the boxing. Maybe some folks will chime in and let me know that's what his situation was. But it was certainly race in his instance by whomever it was that professed to be his adversary. There were even Black boxers who refused to call him by his chosen name. Now they can put it to shame. They were former champions, but they were not the greatest champions. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying and the audience will be able to accept those who were around whom I leave boxing. As far as Main Street goes, I used to get the haircut on Main Street. T.V. Robinson barbershop was called Eli Barbershop. No one wanted to go and get that haircut somewhere else. We wanted the businesses on Main Street that we had, and they were the business on Main Street were full. They didn't shoot go somewhere else. We did that patience. I hope you heard that, and I'll get and let continue with this.
Okay, thanks, Ezekiel. I want to be fair. I did not hear everything, but let me see if I can tell you what I did hear. What I heard was when we think about the life of Muhammad Ali as a boxer and begin to really understand why he was called the greatest and what happened to his career, it is absolutely rooted in race. And we cannot take that away from the story. We cannot rewrite history in order for it to make other people feel comfortable. I added that little part. And then the other one was about, is a pushback to the woman who owns Flag and Banner Store, is to say that Black people wanted to patronize white establishments, and that's why Black people allowed their own district to go quote unquote belly up. That's not true. There's no way we would want to have our hair. Ezekiel says he used to get his hair cut on Main Street. There's no way I would go somewhere else to get my hair cut when this is where I find community. This is where I find what I need in order to be in this space as I am working on my aesthetics, getting my hair cut. So that's about as much as I was able to hear. And so if anybody else heard something differently, please call in in and let us know because we want to be fair. And so what I feel like the caller who said that for me to make everything about race is disingenuous, what I feel like he has done for us is offered us a great opportunity to say, many times we chime in, and I think I started the conversation this morning about this, how we chime in on things without taking into consideration the full picture. If you have not done any work about race relations in America, even if you just want to deal with it in the sports arena, if you have not done that work, then that is why you cannot see race in what's happening to Simone Biles. It's not that it's not there, you just can't see it because you have not done the work. And if you have not done the work, then your perspective is going to be limited. And so what we need are all of this perspectives to come in. So yes, continue to share your perspective and continue to hear, wait, there's more to this story that you need to know about, and you need to do some work so that you can learn it. Caller, you're live on the air, KABF 88.3 FM. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thanks for hosting. Can I clear my
I'm sorry, caller. We can't hear you at all, caller. So I'm willing to make some adjustments on my end. I need you to work on making some on your end. Please call me back. We got 10 minutes. I definitely want to hear what you have to say. Let me get these messages in from Phyllis Brown. First of all, she corrected me because I think I said Highway 630. So she said, no, it's Interstate 630. Romans 16:17 says, I urge you, brothers and sisters, to watch out for those who cause divisions and put obstacles in your way that are contrary to the teaching you have learned. Keep away from them. I don't know. I take issue with this whole verse because you said, watch out for those who cause divisions and put obstacles in your way. This book of Romans, like, it's divisive. I need to spend some more time with that, but I want to get the rest of your comments in first. Carrie McCoy, the owner of Taborian Hall, the only historic building remaining on 9th Street, all other buildings except Taborian Hall were bulldozed. Carrie McCoy said the destruction of 9th Street was due in part to desegregation, whereby Black people were allowed to shop in stores on Main Street. My anger is that McCoy has shifted the onus on Black people, and Black people saying that Black people caused the demise of 9th Street. So you cannot answer anymore. Oh, okay. So the calls, the phone is not working well. The phone is not working well. Yes. So first of all, it's Interstate 630. Secondly, make sure that you stay away from people who are trying to pull you away from what you have learned. And so I'm going to just focus on that part right there from Romans 16:17, what you have learned. And that goes back to the statement I was making before this last caller, that we got to learn some stuff. We got to do the work of learning our history. It is, yes, people are trying to hide it from us, but at this point, you've got history coming at you from out of the wazoo. You've got books, you've got documentaries, you've got TikToks, you've got all this information that is being shared with you, and you don't have to digest it hook, line, and sinker. You don't have to believe it. Hold it up against what it is that you already believe, and do the test, and then let it prove itself, because that's what the truth does. The truth doesn't need a whole bunch of conversation, doesn't need a whole bunch of defense. It will prove itself if you are open enough to receive it. Calling you live on the air, KABF 88.3. This is the Barber and Beauty Shop.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, we talking about this thing. Okay, as far as the Main Street and the development of the Black Street, which was 9th Street, that was all the Black businesses. The woman that runs the Flag and Gun Shop,
Carrie McCoy.
Carrie McCoy, she said that the Black businesses being fell off because everything else that came into the community was offered to them. They was offered the shops, the white shops, and that took away from the Black businesses in the Black community. But people got to understand what you just said a few minutes ago is what I call back then was the Great Divide, and that was the 630. That was that interstate. When they broke it down through that district, that divided that district. And it divided it in a way where it pulled away from the Black communities. Of course, when they opened up new shops, we'll check it out. And when they offered things at certain prices, then people started patronizing their shops. And they forgot about our shops and let them fall by the wayside. And then we had the economic struggle that came after that, when we tried to regroup and rebuild our communities and our neighborhoods. They denied, like you said, they denied us the finance. You couldn't get a loan. But everybody that crosses over in here, if you look around, go in all the different districts and communities, you go North Little Rock, you can go Little Rock, West Little Rock, Southwest Little Rock, East Little Rock. You can even go into the Jacksonville areas, the Sherwood areas. Everywhere you look, and I'm not being negative, I'm not being stereotypical about it, but it's just the truth. Like you said, tell the truth. But everyone that has crossed over here since the 1980s and 90s have been able to obtain loans to open up businesses. If you look at it, that our people have been here for years, decades, and barely can afford a chateau apartment. You got people coming in here. This political system, this governmental system, this state system, has allowed people to get loans. They're staying in the promenades. They're staying in Chenal Valley. They're staying all up and down Highway 10 in Central, in some of the most prominent areas. They're driving expensive vehicles, which I don't hate. I'm not hating. But if you look at the scenario of it, the struggle of a people, and it's our people, we have to look at it through the spectrum, the whole scope, and not be narrow-minded and say, well, oh, it's just a consequence. No, it's not a consequence. This was a well-planned out program against us. And it seems to be working because it's the great divide.
Thank you, caller. The caller says the great divide, talking about Interstate 630, but we can also use that as a symbol about the people. We're talking about Black District on 9th Street, and we're talking about the way that white people are handled when it comes to them wanting loans and those kinds of things. I want to just say this, that Phyllis Brown responds that my point is it was not desegregation that destroyed 9th Street, as Kerry McCoy said. It was Interstate 30. President Eisenhower implemented the interstate plan that destroyed every Black business district in the United States. So let's not get it twisted about what the conversation is about. This is not about whether or not Black people went to white people's shops. This is not about whether or not Black people were willing to spend money in white spaces. This is about an intentional design to destroy Black business districts, not just in Little Rock, not just in Arkansas. I'm from Mississippi. I can talk to you about Ferris Street. We know about Tulsa. So it was all across the United States. That is what happens. And that is our history. And that is what needs to be learned. And anybody who wants to pull you away from that which you learn, then keep away from them. That's one of the other comments that we had. And Lo had a comment right here. I want to make sure I get it in before we go. America was built on race. Racism is the DNA of America. That is something that we must learn. That is something that we must embrace because it is our truth. And again, whatever you think your truth is, put it up beside that one and see which one bears itself out, because that's what the truth will do. Now I know y'all see these people behind me. What's his name? What's the show coming up?
Heartbeat of the Nation with Coochie.
Heartbeat of the Nation. Heartbeat of the Nation is already in the house with Coochie getting ready. So I'm getting ready to go so they can get ready because I'm in the way. Thank you all so much for joining us. I do want to make this last announcement before I go. I failed to make it at the beginning of the show, and I really want you all to hear it. There are grab and go meals at CALS. That's the Central Arkansas Library System. Grab a free meal for children and teens. Parental attestation form is required if the child is not present at the meal pickup. But if you bring the child with you, you will not have to You will not have to fill out any kind of forms. But at all of the libraries, the Children's Library, D. Brown Library, Fletcher Library, Maine Library, Maumelle Library, McMath, like all of these libraries are having these grab and go meals. They are free of charge for people who need them during this summertime. And most of them are from 4 to 5, but all of them, not all of them are. So you'll have to call them and see when you can come through and get your free meal. And if you want to donate to CALS to make this happen, of course, they would love to have your money. Thank y'all so much for joining us for the Barber and Beauty Shop. I'm sure that Rita Griffin and Zachary Crow, I think, will be back on next Saturday. And it ain't, Phyllis Brown said, and it ain't cereal. These are grab and go meals, not cereal. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be right back on Tuesday. I'll be right back on Tuesday with Community Voices live right here, KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. Bye-bye.